Certainly, guilt is not fun. Doesn't feel good to point everything back at yourself and to feel guilty about something in your life. Hey guys, my name is David, and I am a spiritual teacher, a mindfulness coach, and a Kung Fu and Tai Chi master. And today I want to talk about mindfulness. And in direction to mindfulness, I want to talk about transformation of consciousness. So we're going to talk about guilt. Now, the one thing to recognize with guilt is that it always comes together with blame. You cannot feel guilty without blaming something else, simply because the universe itself, in that situation of guilt and blame, must have two pieces, right? We are all one. And in order for one part to feel guilty, to separate itself, there has to be another part still there as well, right? We have one and we became two. So if you're feeling guilty, there has to be another part that you're blaming in order to feel guilty. Does that make sense? It's nice to understand that, because sometimes that part of us, that mind, that outside mind, ego mind, says, no, you just feel guilty. It doesn't notice the another part that you're actually blaming. But if I can help you understand that, if you find the part that you're blaming and you let go of the blame, then the guilt must go. And this is why the number one part of this journey of spirituality, or journey of enlightenment, is innocence and forgiveness. Because we separate ourselves, and we find reasons to separate ourselves, and we push that mind back against ourselves, and we angry with ourselves or frustrated with ourselves and feeling that negative emotion. We all know what it feels like. It feels like you're contracting yourself down and squeezing yourself. And that's the feeling of blame, or that's the feeling of guilt from your side. It can lead to anger as it releases, or it can go all the way into fear and anxiety as the world closes down on you. And then now there's a part of you just want to get out. Anyone ever felt that? I got to get out of here. Or I'm angry at you, or I'm trying to push against you. There's a feeling of release. I feel stuck and now I got to release. That's what fear is. You're feeling stuck. Sometimes it's just going on in your mind, and now you got to release it. Your anger or frustration or rage or maybe sadness. And that's the feeling of release. Now, the reason you are here on this side and feeling all of that fear is because there's another side that you are blaming. Rather if it's a person, rather if it's your past, rather if it's your body, it doesn't matter. But there has to be another side. So now the two sides of this circle, so to speak, is split in half. And this side is missing this side. And since it doesn't have it, it transforms it into its enemy. And now, as we blame and hate this side, we feel it from this side, because they are the same. They are the same. They are one. So because of this, blame always comes with guilt. Always. So if you're feeling guilty, if you're feeling contracted down in your energy, if you're feeling angry, any negative emotion, there has to be an outside counterpart or person, place, or thing that's causing it. And as you forgive it, I allow it. Maybe it's just a circumstance. I allow it to be as it is. I'm just going to allow it. Then that guilt has to release back to love, because you have nothing else to use to feel that way. So as we release it, I allow it, I just allow this moment to be, or my body feels this way, I think I'm just going to allow it to be as it is. It's only temporary, all is well. Here's that idea of everything moving back into love, so therefore I know healing's coming. I know the healing is all there really is. There's nothing in this side. There's just not allowing and then contracting my energy down, but there's nowhere for it to go. So therefore I know healing's coming, or I know well-being is flowing in, or it's just temporary. Or I allow this person to make their mistakes. I allow this person to be as they are. And that's what forgiveness is. I'm going to stop my insistence that this side should be different than it is. This idea of something outside of myself, I'm no longer going to hold it hostage I'm just going to let it be. And that's what forgiveness is. If you can just imagine anything that's holding you tight right now, if you can find it in your mind and just say, you know what, I'm going to allow it to be as it is. If it's something in your past, it is what it is. If it's a fearful future that you're worried about, let it be. It will take care of itself. And the more you recognize you have the power to allow the world to be as it is, you have the power to allow the body to be as it is. And the more you accept and the more you allow, you will see that this will no longer blame this, and they will come together. And as they come together, they'll magically transform, and this will become your solution and no longer your problem. And it will bring you what it is that you're looking for. As you allow your body to be, the well-being will flow in on the other side. As you allow your money to be as it is, the abundance will flow in from that place of allowing and acceptance. Because we're no longer pushing against the other side of what we want. Does this make sense? So the name of the journey, what we all want, is to let go of guilt. Guilt, negative emotion, and contraction are the same thing. And blame and sin, as Jesus talked about, there is no sin, because if there was sin, you would have to permanently be contracted. That would be impossible. You see, you can hold something long enough to contract your energy down. Boy, you can. Absolutely. I'm going to feel guilty as I'm looking at this. I'm going to feel guilty. I can't believe they would do that in the world, and I'm going to feel guilty. And why did that person do that to that person? And I'm going to feel guilty. You see, because the more you look at things you don't like, the more guilt you're going to feel inside. Because you're using something and blaming something and seeing it in a sinful way. Not knowing that you've actually split yourself and you're looking in the mirror at your own beliefs, your own fears, your own worries. Therefore, you're feeling it coming back to you because you cannot give meaning to the world without it coming back to you. And the world has no meaning of its own. You are giving it the meaning that you see. And if you see something as sinful, then you are the one who saw it as sinful. You see? It doesn't matter what is going on from that perspective. It only matters what's going on from your perspective. So as you say, I don't like that, that's sinful, then you have to feel the guilt. And as you look out there and say, that's lost, then you have to feel sad. And as you look out there and say, I hate that, then you have to feel angry. Do you see? And the more you recognize this is always together, as you cut this and say, this is the outside world, this is what you're feeling of it. And it cannot be any other way. It is law. It is law. Then you realize, where's my guilt coming from? Where's all that contraction coming from? Oh, from looking out of the world and looking at that person and looking at this and seeing this and judging it and feeling the effects of my own judgment. This is why Jesus said you have to love your enemy. He's talking about loving your enemy so you can let go of the guilt within yourself. You have to forgive. So he's talking about forgiving what you think is sinful so you can then be innocent yourself. Everything you see is an effect of your cause that you are giving it. Can you feel that? Can you feel that truth? Because the more we understand that, as I rail against the world and look at things I don't like, I get to feel it all back myself, the more we'll forgive it. And that's what forgiveness is. It's recognizing that I don't know why that is happening. That's the truth. You could look at anything out there that you don't like, and the reality is you don't know why it's happening because you don't know from their perspective. And I don't know why they're happening. We will never know why these things happen. And the more we push against them, the more we have to feel it on the other side. So instead, we give it to the divine. We recognize that regardless of what we think is negative is happening, the divine essence is aware of it and is taking care of it. That's the idea of giving it over to the Holy Spirit, give it to God. There's nothing that's happening out there in that world that the divine essence of all that we are is not aware of and taking care of. It is taken care of. Our job is to see it as taken care of instead of seeing it as not. to see it as love, to see it as releasing back to love, regardless of what we're looking at. It's releasing back to love. So that way we can give it over to the divine nature, whose job is to take care of the broader perspective of this world, not each one of us, not from this limited perspective that we hold. But the more we try to do the broader perspective's job by judging it or trying to control it or change it, the more it clashes back against us. Does that make sense? That's what guilt is. That's what contraction of your energy is. That's what negativity is. Literally trying to do the job of your broader perspective, of the Creator itself. That's not our job. Our job is simply to love our creations in the moment, to allow the world to be, and to love it and appreciate it and find joy in it and let it be. The bigger perspective is taking care of the other part. And as you allow and let go of the control of everything out there and let go of the judgment of it, you'll let go of the guilt on the other side. And guilt is just separation. I'm seeing that separate from myself. Do you see? I'm seeing that in a negative way from a perspective, but it's not me, it's them. But even though you have to hold on to the negativity inside you, simply because it's coming from you, your source. And you're feeling now that contraction in your energy and that separation. See how tricky this is? And that separation is guilt. It is guilt. But the more you let go, I'm just going to let it be. I'm going to allow it to be as it is. Then you will see there's a bigger part underneath all what you think is negative, and it's called positive, and it's called flow, and it's called love. There's nothing negative that doesn't release back to positive, and there's nothing separate that doesn't release back to connection. There's only love. There's only the embrace of the Father. There's only the oneness of Source. So regardless of what we think we're seeing, let it be, and it will release of its own accord. But more importantly, you can let go of the guilt that you're feeling that's contracting you and keeping you feeling stuck in your energy. And now you can be free. You can be free of the world. And that's what Jesus meant when he said, let go of the world. It's not what you think. It's an illusion. We only see it from one perspective. And clearly our perspective is wrong. Otherwise we wouldn't be contracting ourselves, because our bigger perspective, that broader soul perspective, is not agreeing with us. So therefore we're separating ourselves from our own self while we look at it. It can't be correct. And now we can take a couple breaths. I think I'm just going to relax and allow. I'm going to relax and allow this moment to be. I'm going to relax and allow this person to be where they're at. I'm not going to have to try to come up with the answers and the solutions. I can just relax and allow the moment to be and trust this bigger divine presence underneath that is indeed taking care of everything. And that trust in the divine presence and the allowing and relaxing of your own energy, and now you'll feel better. Why? Simply because you have released your judgment upon the world, because you now trust. You trust it. You trust the divine presence underneath that's keeping all of this flowing. Can you feel that trust for a second? Can I just trust that there is a divine presence here? Can I trust that there is a purpose to all of this that I can't see from my limited perspective? And can that be okay? Do I really need to control everything? Do I really need to be fearful and worried about everything? Do I really need to judge other people when I don't know their experiences? You see, and I take a couple breaths. Can I just trust this world? Give it over to the Father and be like that child. And just be at peace. We are eternal. You can't get it wrong because you never get it done, as Abraham Hicks would say. There's no evil. There's nothing in this side, just contraction of energy. So have faith and trust in love, connection, and flow, and our source and our divine presence. And be at peace in your own heart. Thank you, guys. I hope you're able to find some clarity from this conversation. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to have it with all of you. As always, it is up to you what you receive. Hit the like button if this video speaks to you, and continue to subscribe, share, and I love to hear your comments. Please keep them coming. And as always, my unconditional love and appreciation to each one of you on this journey.